welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica Shakan. I'm an aspiring author currently working on my debut novel. For those who have been following me for a while, you would know that after those words, it would follow The Vigilantes, the name was still in the works. Well, I'm here to announce the official title of my novel, which is, drumroll please, Boston's Vigilantes. I've known my title name for I think 2 weeks now, but I felt like it would be appropriate in this week's video topic, all about naming your novel. I feel like giving your novel a title is a little bit more hard than actually writing and editing your novel because the title is going to be composed in a few words, and how are a few words, no more than 4 or 5, going to represent your novel? It's hard. I know that I had a lot of headaches when it came to naming my novel, especially since my novel is the first novel in the trilogy, so the title needs to be something that works well with the other two books in the series, which it does. So I'm really happy that I finally get to tell you guys that my novel is going to be called Boston's Vigilantes. So I'm going to stop rambling now and get on with the video and get on with the topic of how to name your novel. I feel like there are two types of people out there, two types of writers. Those who can name a novel very easily. If you're that kind of person, I hate you. And those such as myself, who have a really hard time coming up with a name for your novel. I really want to emphasize the fact that you don't really need to know what your novel is going to be called right when you start writing. It can be something that comes along the way while you're writing your novel, or this could be something that you have to think about a lot after you finish editing or writing, whatever option seems better for you. So don't try to focus on naming your novel in the beginning, because I did that, and if I remember correctly, the title of my novel, right, even before I started writing it, was The Ones in the Dark, which didn't really work out with the whole trilogy aspect, because the second novel is The Ones in the Dark 2, and then The Ones in the Dark 3. It doesn't work. So you can just leave it to be the last thing you do, or you can leave this process once you send it to your critique partner or your beta reader. So don't focus on this right in the beginning. So my biggest tip is to look for keywords, themes, play on words, phrases that you feel like are used, or even symbols could work. My novel actually has a play on words and a symbol in it. Play on words, not really, because it's a play on words throughout the series and is going to be reflected in the title of book 2 and book 3. For example, I remember reading an article on Veronica Roth's Carve the Mark duology, and I know that she mentioned that the name Carve the Mark is a short phrase that has been emphasized a lot throughout the novel, which came very easily for her. Or in her trilogy Divergent, it was really easy for her to come up with a name, because the word divergent is a really common name and a common word in the book. It comes up a lot, so it's easy. So you need to read through your manuscript or remember some of the key words or most repetitive words that you've used in your novel, different themes, symbols. Boston is actually a kind of a symbol in my novel, air quotes on the word symbol, because the trilogy is set both in present time in Boston and in flashbacks in China. The name Boston in my title as one of the words, because I really wanted to emphasize the fact that even though she spent a lot of time in China, my main characters have, and even though it shaped them a lot, Boston is their home. Boston is the place they live in. Boston is the place they protect. So Boston is going to be in the title of all the novels. throughout the rest of the series. I already have the names planned for the rest of for the book 2 and 3, but I'm not going to reveal them yet. And I use the word vigilante because that's what they refer to throughout the novel. Once you've made a list with words that could be used in your title, just combine them. Make as many titles as you can, and just make a huge list. You can. I didn't really make a list because I already kind of knew the direction I was going to head in with my title name. With my title, I know that I have some other book ideas that I really need to make lists for. When it really depends on the story and how easily it comes to you, which goes kind of hand in hand with the next thing you should do after making the list. Google your titles. Because let's say you have a book called Twilight. You are going to Google your book and it's called Twilight. I have bad news for you. Your book isn't going to be the first result. It's going to be the first book of Twilight. Make sure your novel is genre. Another thing that you really need to pay attention to is that your title needs to be genre appropriate. Because if your novel is a romance, you're clearly not going to have the word death or blood in it. If you do, that's kind of strange and kind of intriguing. But I'm weird, not everyone is going to find it intriguing. Many people would see the word blood and think that it's horror or fantasy, and when they read it in reality, it's a romance. Yeah, it doesn't really work. These are kind of just things you need to consider when writing a standalone. When it comes to writing a trilogy or duology or series, it's a lot harder than that because your titles need to match in a way. If you can go the Divergent Drag, Divergent Insurgent Allegiant, there are rhymes. It seems like it's part of a novel, or the Hunger Games route, the Hunger Games Catching Fire, the Hunger Games Mockingjay. I really hope this video helped you because these are the things I did when I tried to title my novel, and it helped me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe because I post new videos every Fridays. If you want to get in touch or chat for a bit, you can go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jessica Shirkan. The first chapter of my novel is currently available on my website. The link is down below. I hope you guys have a nice Friday and a fantastic weekend. Bye!